Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
Shamelessly displaying my state of mind. but you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Good morning, 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 good morning. That's 10 of them. How about one more just for shits and giggles? Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's TGIF. It's Friday, y'all. Ain't no sleeping here. Wake that ass up. That's right. It is Friday. I'm so excited to be here. Y'all are looking absolutely phenomenal. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to today's installment, the Friday edition of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren, and it's a great day in the neighborhood. Can I get an amen? I'll kick it off. There you go. Listen, oh my goodness, so much going on. We're not even going to go inside of the whole political forum and all of that stuff, that hornet's nest, right? But so many wonderful things are going on in the world today, and today's guests are going to bring some light, some shine, if you will, to something I bet you, maybe you guys are up on it. I wasn't until a little over, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. How long was it? It wasn't that long ago. Do you guys remember when I told you I went to an event in the city here in Chicago? It was hosted by Devin Thorpe, who has a show on the E360 network, and he has a book right here, How to Make Money. We like that moolah, dinero, cheddar, how to make it with impact crowdfunding. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. I had no clue what crowdfunding was because I just didn't. So I thought, well, what a great idea to bring some people on the show that can shed a little light, a little insight, if you will, into this thing known as crowdfunding. But this isn't just your ordinary crowdfunding. It is impact crowdfunding, and we're going to get into that today. I've got a clip picked up. Was that a senior moment? Yep, because I can't turn it into something. Wait for it. I have a clip pulled up. Woo! That word tried to get away from me. See? And all of you young people out there laughing. Senior moment, Dr. Lauren. Don't get it twisted. You're already on your way because you're having junior moments. You just don't know it yet. That right there is not a gimmick. It's not a prop. It is an opportunity. I'm speaking to the bell of purpose. Look, it's a real thing. I ring it for a real reason. Why? Because the truth, just like that bell, you guessed it, it has a ring to it. I know you're busy. You're flat ironing that hair, putting on those big old eyelashes, whatever you're doing, stuck in traffic. I don't want you to miss the truth. So if you're doing something else and you hear the bell, come running. It means I've got something for you to take with you today. Can I get another amen? I'll start it off again. You guys got me doing all the work. So listen, a couple announcements really quickly. One really exciting one. So if you are in the Albany, New York area, I'll see you there. The first week of September. What's the date for that? The 8th of September, I'll be in Albany presenting a brand new keynote entitled, Reinventing Blame. That's the one. Yes. And so I'm so excited to be there. Thank you so much, Albany, New York, for bringing me in. And then the next week, are you ready for this? I'm so excited. I got my first cover of 2024. I was getting worried. I was like, what's happening? You get older, nobody wants this. They want this. So, but thank you, Beverly Hills Times Magazine. I'm going out there for 4 days, photo shoot, the works. So if you're in the Southern California area, you want to hook up, holler at your boy. I'll see you out there. And thank you again, Beverly Hills Times Magazine. Thank you so much. So who do we have here today? We have a couple guys here. Charles Eldridge III. Now, I was at his home a couple weekends ago. He had a networking event that was off the chain. Met some great people. Have had a couple calls with a couple of them already. Going to go into the city to have a lunch with another one of the a couple that was there. They had a couple kids that stayed in the pool the whole day, and it was just fantastic. So they're here today. Charles Eldridge III. Now there's Charles, there's Chuck, there's Chip, Chimichanga. I made that one up, but there's a whole bunch of them. We're going to talk about that. And his sidekick, they are partners in crime, Lukus Cannon. They're here today to talk about their work inside this lane known as crowdfunding. And I love what they're doing. You guys will too. Listen, you know what we do when people are here for the first time. We really roll out our virtual carpet. How do we do that? Well, it's easy. Put some hearts on the screen. I hear them walking down the hallway right now. Here they come. Charles and Lukus.
Good morning, Dr. Lauren.
Good morning. How are y'all?
How are you doing?
Fantastic today.
I'm doing well. You know, I came onto this thing. If I can just match half of your energy today, it'll be a good day.
Well, I think you can. You're already doing. Oh, that looks like one of those specialty coffees.
Specialty McDonald's coffee.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
the
it's not one of those coffees I can't pronounce. It's a frappe followed through with a whip and a extra shot of whatever. You're just a plain coffee drinker like me?
Well, I'm the one who bought it, so that's what I got.
Just black coffee? All right. Cheers, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, you notice I didn't read a bio or anything. Sometimes I'll take a word or two from a bio, but I really like to just let the guest have 60 seconds at the front end to just kind of pour into the audience. Not just the audience that's watching currently, and hello to all of you out there, but those who will find it over the years as it goes down the rabbit hole known as the internet. Say hello, just pour into them, start the vibe by, talking about why you're here today and what's important to you about why you're here today. And then at 60 seconds, I'll come back in and we'll officially get started. How's that sound?
I think we can.
Sounds good to me.
Pull that off? Okay. Clearly, these two are not Laverne and Shirley, who know how to in and out. You can tell. See?
Hey.
Look, I'm going to make a prediction. By the halfway point, you guys will be old pros at this, and you'll be tossing it back and forth like news anchors. Watch. There you go. Okay, you guys, take it away. It's all you. I'll be back in 60.
All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Luke Cannon Pressler. I am a software engineer. I'm an entrepreneur. Originally out of Oklahoma, traveled around the country. And last year, I ran into Chip here, and we, we're like-minded in that we really care about, the communities that we grew up in, the communities that we live in, and just the community at large. So we connected on, well, that's the first front. What else?
Well, we started working, talking about what we did respectively. I was in the real estate, do a lot of construction and flipping types of things over the years, and we thought that might make good content. And we started talking about that, and we started talking about real community development, using not-for-profits and for-profits to actually collaborate and build our communities and the places of hope and gathering.
One step at a time.
I decided to save y'all from having heart attacks or strokes, so I came back in early.
Do we look nervous?
Yes, Lord, relax. You're in a safe space with people who love you, but that's okay. I know, but don't worry. I have a feeling you guys are going to be old pros at this before long, because I see you're going big places. We're going to get into that today. But first and foremost, back to this event where I met you guys. What impressed me about you there were a lot of places you could have parked it. You could have set it down, but you were right up front. And every time I looked down when I was doing my little couple minutes, you guys and I watched you after I was up there, and you were engaged with every single person that presented. It was like you were two giant sponges. So tell me, what brought you to that event, and what is it about this work? Explain your version of this crowdfunding, if you could. Why don't we start with you, Luke?
Sure. I was introduced to Devin in the event through my executive director of the nonprofit that I've been working at for a little over 10 years now. He dropped this in my lap and said, "Hey, here's an event that I think you and Chip would find interesting. Why don't you go check it out?" And that was it. That was all it took. We had a great time. I mean, you saw me up there with my little notepad.
I did.
Oh, what does he say? What's he going to say next?
I did. So you both went. Chip, what about you? Now, let me just say this. Your bloodline has history in doing things that have legacy legs. And what I mean by that, I had a brief moment with your dad when I was there, and then someone else put something in my ear about how, that swampland deal all those years ago. And you got to really have a mind of not just what serves you, but what serves the world, and not just what serves the world or you right now, but way down the road in the future. So talk about that. You came by this honestly, right?
I have, and I come from a long line of folks. Where I live, I'm seventh generation in the same house.
Geez, wow.
We have had a history of philanthropy. My great grandparents were missionaries, started an orphanage in India.
Wow.
I've always been taught to try to give back somewhere, somehow, a little bit every day. And
That's amazing.
part of my experience coming to the crowdfunding thing was to figure out how we can empower the common man to be economically viable again. I mean, we have so many things out there in today's world that just make everything seem hard. And I've been in business a long time, and it is my goal to teach everybody the laws as written and empower people to do well. And crowdfunding is a wonderful new tool which allows your community. You can make any kind of group you want these days.
Yeah.
It could be your church, it could be your town, it could be your block, it could be your college, or or your high school. And you can make a group and invest in your local businesses.
Exactly. Perfect. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So you guys are relaxing into it already. Listen, I'm going to help you out here. I mean, you all out there sitting in there going, crowdfunding. I hear what they're saying, but what does it look like? Well, here is just, we're going to watch a minute or so of a little clip we found to kind of try to crack the code on this thing, an icebreaker, if you will, about how does crowdfunding work in 2024? Because it's decades old. Indiegogo, there's a bunch of different platforms now, but it has changed, and people are doing great things with it today in a way they've never done before, including today's guest. Take a look.
So, what is crowdfunding? Simply put, crowdfunding
Technical
is a way for people to generate capital from people online. Who are these random strangers about to give you their money? Well, crowdfunding platforms call them backers, and they are people passionate about projects like yours, are inspired by your project pitch, and see the potential in bringing your idea to life. It's important to understand that crowdfunding is not a one-sided relationship. While there are occasions where people will simply donate funds, in most cases, backers expect something in return. Backers can pledge varying amounts of money to support projects they're interested in. In return, creators may offer backers tangible rewards, early access, or other incentives, fostering a sense of community and shared ownership. Crowdfunding isn't the most conventional way of raising funds, but it does have its perks. The number one perk, allowing you to avoid investing in upfront production costs while generating revenue without inventory. Imagine spending your life savings to create a product that no one wants. That would be a pretty expensive mistake. With crowdfunding, you can legitimately test your idea on the market before making any kind of major investment. Crowdfunding allows you to tap into a community of early adopters who want to give you feedback on your product. You can then use that feedback to improve and refine your product to ensure that it meets the needs of your target audience. You can do all of this before even launching your new product. Crowdfunding can help you position yourself for partnerships with major retailers or bigger investors.
Okay, so there's a little bit there to get your whistle wet, if you will. So you guys, Luke and Chip, when I was at your event, Chip, the other week, I met a gentleman and his wife and the harvesting thing. Can you take us into that one? Because we have the clip that you guys sent in. You sent us a bunch. We chose the one with the wood, where you guys were looking at the wood. Okay, so we're going to talk about, so set kind of. I thought that would be a great one because you could talk about this couple and this work. So take that away, and then when you're done, we'll show them like an inside peek of what all it takes to pull this thing off. All you, take it away.
Well, kind of starting off, we worked with a fellow by the name of Todd Fleming and his wife, Audra, with a few others, Stephen and Scott. We started, actually, my mother's church was looking to remodel and build a new community center right there at Fullerton and Clark, Church of Our Savior. The back building was built in the... And
that's an area in the Chicago? Is that in the... I'm sorry, Chip, is that... Because we have people watching from all over the world, so when you mention a place, I want them to see... That's Chicago?
That is in Chicago. That's in
okay,
Lincoln
okay.
Park, like right off the downtown. Not
Okay,
right
so
there.
the church.
And Fullerton Avenue happened to be where the Chicago fire stopped. And this parish hall, so to speak, not the cathedral, the parish
And the
hall.
Chicago fire, real quick. When was that? Back in the
1860s, I'm going to say.
That's what I thought.
1860s.
Okay.
1860s.
And so this was built before that, and the fire stopped basically right across the street from. And, so we got to working with Todd a little bit, and this is one of the first businesses Luke and I have helped kind of incubate and get off the ground, which we're very proud of. And,
so what's the name of that company again, or that effort?
It's called Timeless Rescue.
Yeah, Timeless Rescue. Explain the mission.
So we were approached by Todd, who's a master carpenter, really a great guy, and he had this idea that buildings are being torn down and scrapped that have historical significance beyond just like their architecture or who designed them, and he kind of proposed this idea of like what if we just deconstruct these buildings, like a Lincoln Log, or like taking apart piece by piece, beam by beam, instead of just coming in with the wrecking ball. Some of that wood is extinct. Some of it is thousand-year-old tree that was cut down 300 years ago.
Wow.
And and then there's value for that, and we saw the value, and we saw it too. And so Todd and Timeless Rescue was our first kind of business development effort where we took somebody from our community, or here in the Midwest. I'm not originally from here, but we
close enough.
We started with them in, I believe, April. I think they incorporated in February. We came in April, and now in August in Appleton, Wisconsin, we're opening. We're assisting opening a showroom. So it's really they have a website, timelessrescue.com. And it's really great. And Todd, Audra, really
I
great
love
people.
them.
One of the things I would say, it kind of goes along the principles of trying not to waste things, recycling products. We're working with what's called Cream City Brick, which you can no longer make. That came out of clays from Lake Michigan. Those are kind of all the yellow brick buildings that you may see, which you just simply can't make anymore because the brick is based on the colors of clay. And so we've been harvesting.
So why can't we make that anymore? Is the clay like extinct? Is there's some rule about it? Why?
It is against the law to harvest that out of Lake Michigan these days.
To dredge it out.
I mean, you'd be
okay,
dredging
because
the
it
lake.
would change what's going on with the lake and the environment and all that.
Good for
they
the
didn't know this stuff way back then.
Oh yeah, I mean you're talking north of 100 years ago when they were doing this.
Right.
Okay. One of the things, not to cut you off, but one of the things I want to get in here to this, because believe it or not, we're almost at the halfway point already. Told you it was going to go fast. Listen, one of the things that really captivated me, because when we started the conversation with the Timeless Rescue duo and you all, the party stopped for me because I was so laser focused on, because when you start talking about it, it's like you literally part the veil into a story in history. So let's go there. How important is it? And this is the piece that really touched me. Not just the intricate pieces that you harvest, but keeping the story of the people that made it possible, the efforts and why. What purpose did this building serve? It was a focal point. It drew people. It helped create the town that was or is. All of that. So how do you go about attaching or uncovering, harvesting the actual story that goes with that brick or that piece of wood?
Well, you try to look up the history or find somebody who knows. I mean, in the case of the church, when we were harvesting, there was a historian, and we went and talked to him and talked about the age of things. You also explore a little bit and see what you find. And,
you can, let's say you get 1,000 individual beams or pieces. You can tie all those together in one story, and I think especially in today's market where like that unique, having something that you cannot get anywhere else, if it's an extinct piece of wood or what have you, like that's worth something to people. And on the flip side, I mean, you like your work with the McConnell Foundation, historical preservation societies, like sometimes you have to get rid of a building, and at the very least you can preserve the story.
Yeah.
Right.
And preserve materials that can be used again. And, and oftentimes, I work with, the W.A. McConnell Foundation, which is for historic preservation out here in McHenry County, Illinois, which is basically northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. And we need materials. You're trying to preserve an old building that was made of certain types of wood, and you can't find them. Getting them from buildings that had come down at one time is a great place to do so.
Yeah. And I just want to say, and this is for you guys out there as well, because I know just in my own families, and when I say families, I mean plural, because you guys know my story. This is so important because when we're talking about the buildings, and when that's way outside, that's 4 or 5 layers away from your own family in many cases. And I know families that don't even know their own history. Hello. Family recipes are lost. Back in the day, people used to have family Bibles, those big, huge ones that had all the stuff chronologized in there, and they've just basically pretty much disappeared. So I love this because I'm hoping it will help turn the lights back on for a lot of people to start preserving their own stories, so that, because a lot of people think, well, it's for today and that's it. But what about 500 years from now? How will people know what your struggle or what your experiences were? So let me ask you this. When you go in and you do find that historian or that person, because they're not, in most cases, I would think, certified historians or whatever. Sometimes they are, but sometimes it's Ida Jefferson, 98 years old, who lives out on the outskirts of town, who has a memory of, like that. So is there some protocol when you pass these pieces forward to be incorporated in this new piece of history, or what will be history? How do you go about verifying the facts from these stories?
Well,
so I think Todd is he's obviously it's his company. He's the president, and we're helping him. And he's very good, very thorough about checking his sources, asking, if somebody tells the story, if somebody else tells the same story, well, that's a good marker for like, oh, that could be plausible.
Yeah.
I think
you can kind of tell when it fits.
Yeah. And but it is difficult, sometimes it is difficult to verify, like without doing, testing.
Yeah.
That something is what people say it is.
And sometimes we do testing because you can test the wood to find out what it is, and we believe we have some chestnut there, which is extinct, and some Douglas fir. There'd also be some.
We're going to show that.
Pine.
Yeah.
And old growth Douglas fir is very hard to get, and it does still grow, but these are old growth trees that we cut down a long time ago.
What do you do? What do you do when you find pieces of the story, but it's almost like Morse code, ... In other words, gaps in the story. Do you just put what you can to it, so that there's at least some point of reference? And then second part of the question is, you're laying this in one spot so people can find it in the future, so that this doesn't get lost. Just tell us why that's important to you and why it should be important pretty much to all of us.
Yeah, when we set up, or when we were first kind of brainstorming with Todd and Audra, we knew that we wanted to target, like, our target audience were people that, one, care about history, two, can afford to save it, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's cheaper to just throw this stuff away, and so you have to have a real passion for for history. Yeah. And I think 3 would be I think this is 3.
Well, it also, quite frankly, is good for the environment to preserve materials that we used before instead of cutting down new ones and making new ones. All this stuff ends up in a landfill somewhere, which doesn't do much of anything.
Yeah. And once it's lost forever.
Right. Some of these materials are absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, places that are done with these older woods or barnwood or, old timbers, or one of the things that I'm working on with Timeless Rescue through some of the development projects I'm doing is using the reclaimed brick to reface buildings.
Yes.
As opposed to coming in with all brand new brick, we're going to use that historic brick, in particular in some of the older downtowns that we're working in. And, that will aesthetically be very nice. You could put a little plaque there saying where it came from. And, and I think people will enjoy that.
I want to circle back to what you said, Dr. Lauren, about I think the veracity of the story is the value. And so if you can, the more sure you are, the more the story is worth to whoever is interested in a particular material.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and, I would say, Dr. Lauren, for me in particular, preserving history, good, bad, the ugly, we need to do that so that we learn from it and improve and don't repeat, dumb things we did in the past.
Absolutely.
And celebrate the good things we did in the past.
Yeah. And to learn from our mistakes and a lot of the things and our victories, not just our mistakes, learn from our victories too. But what I really love about this work that you all and others are doing, and it's very special to me for someone who did not know their origin for 32 years and the road that it took, decades, for me to find my way back just to my biological family, let alone because inside of that were all the stories of the people that got us here. And, was I disappointed when I got there and I had questions and no one knew where to find the answers? Absolutely. So it's not just about one thing ever. So that's one of the things I wanted to bring up about the entire thing. But I want to ask you this too. Have you found this? This is because to me, it's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? The kind of thing, like for those of us who love an adventure, a mystery, have you found that some of these pieces that you find, or when you're deconstructing a building or whatever, that they hold secrets inside, like things behind walls, things underneath floors? You were telling me about how a floor had a floor and then another floor and then another floor. Who would know? That's incredible. Talk about that piece if you could, please.
Now this was years ago before we got to that, but I was working on a project actually here in Richmond, Illinois. It was the old Memorial Hall, and there was a ceiling there. We kind of crawled up and we discovered that, oh wait, there's another ceiling above that, and then oh wait, there's another ceiling yet above that one, and had 3 false ceilings. And when we opened it up, it had all this beautiful woodwork, which we were able to restore.
Right. I've heard people say when they take up carpet.
Carpeting over. Yeah,
they go, look at these floors. And all of a sudden, their plan for the design completely changes because now they want to restore them. That kind of thing.
Absolutely. And, I think we found a buffet that had newspapers in it from 1932, I think it was.
Wow.
So,
that was in the church?
Yeah. That's the buffet that we did.
See that?
Have you ever found anything of value? Like, because people back in the day, they used to hide stuff in walls and floorboards and stairs and that kind of stuff. Boy, I'd be like,
there are all kinds of things of value depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those types of people who don't like to throw anything away if it might possibly have value or we can reuse it somehow.
Of course.
And,
I want to show everybody. Let's take a look at this clip about the wood. Take a look. You might not, you got to have patience with this stuff. Because I was looking at the clip and I was like, I'd be like, let me take this home with me, this wood. I got a fire pit. That looks good and dry. You know what I mean? I might burn up something that was a piece of history because that particular piece of wood just might be extinct. You guys take a look at what goes into, just a little bit of what goes into this timeless rescue. And I am going to pop it up. Okay. And there we go.
Because it has a similar look. It's hard to tell the difference because of how old it is. We've heard like white pine is what it is. I don't think it's that. Doug fir is what it is. Not sure if it's that. We've heard this is a hybrid of duck fur. We've heard this.
Can you guys see it?
Depends on what things are.
Wait a minute.
I think he froze.
Hold on.
Interesting. So the reason
I hear it, but I don't see it. I'm gonna
Oh,
take
there
it back. Hold on, you guys, because this is. I just want to say this was a tough little cookie to crack as far as playing it, and I want to. I know I can't do it like that. Hold on, you guys. Bear with us. You guys help me out back there. How do we get this thing to do what we need? Okay. It's saying, hold on, I'm getting a note. We're going to try this again. We're going to try this again. Hold on. You guys hit it. Okay, we're going to take it. So kind of set it up. First of all, what we're going to look at, should we be able to make it work? Where is this exactly? And what are we talking about when we get there?
From that clip, you want to? That's from COS.
Oh, that's from the church there. Okay, that would be from Church of Our Savior, which was as I said, in Chicago.
Okay,
and we were pulling beams out of the rafters, ceiling rafters and the floor rafters, and then there were also.
So this is the church with the fire where the fire stopped across the street.
That's
They
correct.
talk about some burned wood in this clip. Is that from that fire or some other fire?
So when you talk about verifying the history of something, we cracked open the wall and saw that beam or like other. Well, it was larger than that, but with burn damage, and we immediately think, oh, this one was maybe part of the fire. Like that's great. That's great to attach to it.
Yeah.
And somebody had it recorded or something. I think it was a gas leak in the 60s. That actually caused it, and so sometimes
So that's how
sometimes
you
you think it's
verify
one thing
stuff.
and it's something else, but it was still built, and the fire did stop at Fullerton Avenue, and this is on the north side of Fullerton Avenue, and
in Lincoln Park,
Lincoln Park in Chicago.
Yeah, we're trying to play this thing like through 3 or 4 different layers, you guys. So bear with us. We're gonna try it one more time.
Because it has a similar look. It's hard to tell the difference because of how old it is. We've heard like white pine is what it is. I don't think it's that. Doug fir is what it is. Not sure if it's that. We've heard this is a hybrid of Doug fir. We've heard this. Everyone has their opinions on what things are. This is burn damage, but it's interesting. So the reason I cut these is because technically they're the same, should be, as these, but there's different colors within it.
Oh my goodness.
That I feel like are defining. So we're going to take them to a wood specialist to find if, something more than just Doug fir or white pine. Which
So we feel like these are either Doug fir or white pine.
So Doug fir was the initial, and then someone said white pine. And
wow. So just that alone can take weeks, months, sometimes just for a little intricate piece. And it's almost like a quilt where you collect the little squares and then before it's all said and done, you sew it all together. Yes.
I like that analogy. Yeah.
I like that analogy as well. And well, then we look to uses here. I mean, we've had some folks working to possibly make musical instruments out of some of the wood we've created, different artists like that, along with carpenters and people who are trying to do restoration projects.
So this work, I'm sure this, and especially like on the cover of Devin's book where it says impact. Some crowdfunding is to create things for the arts, this and the other. But let's talk about this. Is it the majority of the work you do? Is it just for the historical preservation, or is there a for-profit piece?
Well, absolutely. The Timeless Rescue is a for-profit business, so it is looking to harvest these things and resell.
Okay.
Our involvement, I am not particularly involved in an ownership position there. We did try to help them with a little bit of, get them some seed funding, so to speak, so they could get started. And try to give them referrals on places to get things. We are working on what we like to call community development funds, which are, basically a for-profit business, but we believe in working with non-for-profit businesses closely and collaborating together.
Yeah, Dr. Lauren, I think the cool what's so great about this is one project of ours, Timeless Rescue. You know, they with their story and their own set of challenges and you know that every small business and small business owner faces as they try to develop it.
Yeah.
And what I think really brought Chip and I together is how we had experience finding capital, finding money for those people from different sides of the equator. I mean, Chip comes from a private equity background. I have a lot of experience in nonprofit in you know working in the kind of philanthropic arena, and you find that like a hybrid approach to doing that is not something that a lot of people would immediately think of, but it's very you can tweak it for a person's situation.
Yeah, yeah, and that ceiling. We were looking at the Timeless Rescue website there, you guys, and that ceiling up there, it's just beautiful, 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 beautiful. So you just mentioned, Luke, that this is just one of the groups that you work with. Can you give us some examples of something that's totally different than the harvesting of these pieces? What's another?
What about Charlie?
Charlie or
Charles?
There's a lot of Charles. I've realized, like
I already know. I guess, right.
Yeah. So another example. This is a bottle of barbecue sauce from Charles Smith, who is a restaurateur. Ren's dad's started Leo's Barbecue. He's been on Food Network 3 or 4 times. You know, Diners and Dives and Barbecue Kings, and he's been working that restaurant for a long time. And one of the things he wants to do as part of retirement is either franchise or get his sauce distributed on a larger scale. I mean, right now it's just buying it off the website. If you know, you know. But
so who came to who? Which is first, the chicken or the egg? Did you find him or did he find you?
He found me working my first job. I think I was 15, working at a country club, and I was cleaning his clubs, and he came up and tipped me, and the rest, I guess, is history. He's a very good friend, and I consider him, you know, a mentor in that space. And I mean, he's, you know, Dr. Lauren, I mentioned these off camera to you. You guys are similar in the positivity that you just espouse to people naturally is I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
You know, thank you for that. It seems like you gotta, now when we talk about being of service and just doing things to help ease suffering in the world and all of that, which everyone that knows me knows that's one of the things I love about life the most, is that we all have something that can help make the road a little bit smoother for someone else. And so let's talk about this. Great way to move towards the end of the interview is the personal. How does this help you grow as individuals? Because a lot of people miss that when they're of service to others. And as a matter of fact, you guys, on my social media, Facebook pages, there's a clip from the New York interview with Andrew Nemani that talks about, and I say that in there, how, and I mean it, how so many times in my own journey, when I couldn't do it for myself, the moment I started doing something for someone else, it was that act that got me back to myself with something in hand to take care of the situation. I was ready to throw my hands up because I didn't know how to help myself, but through helping someone else, I inadvertently helped myself. Talk about that full circle moment, what it brings back to your own journeys.
Well, I would just say, Dr. Lauren, in my own self recently, you know, about 5-6 years ago, I went through a divorce, which put me in a rather bad, dark spot in my life. I was pretty broken then. And a couple of years ago, actually about two and a half years ago, I kind of decided I'm just not going to live that way anymore. And I wanted to leave this world a better place than I found it. So,
there it is.
I kind of made that decision. And really started trying to work on things, looking at that basis. I live in a small town, which there have been growth problems in the past. People argue about how it should get done, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to walk around and smile and talk to everybody, and see how that goes, and work on things as they come forward. And you know, in that path, I somehow ran into Luke, kind of, and we got together. He's been a big inspiration to me, and you know, that trying to help and mentor others.
I was gonna say mentor, because what you're talking about, Dr. Lauren, can happen at any age.
Yeah.
You can be the mentee looking for guidance, or you can be the mentor that like gets value out of helping the next, you know, not even just generation. I mean,
oh yeah.
And I mean, and through this, I've started volunteering with a place called Kurt's Cafe down in Evanston, Illinois, where we're working with kids who are, you know, 15 to 21-ish, who've had a little trouble with the law, and you know, helping them learn a little bit about business. They you know, Kurt's has a great mission. We go down there. I'm not down there every week, but at least twice a month, where we talk about networking, or, you know, meeting with people, or how you know, how you get business cards, or what a resume looks like. And out of that, I have to say, I tell those kids every time that I get way more out of it than I think they do, because I always just feel good afterwards, and especially if you can get through to one or two, you see them smile when they're getting a little confident doing something. That
you see them put in the work.
For sure.
You know, empowering them to help fix themselves, which, you know,
yeah,
and that's one thing I strongly believe is, you know, need private citizens to stand up and help each other, and, you know, basically empower others to do well. And, you know, the more we do that together, it seems to be better for everybody.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Luke, you got something?
When good people work with good people, they do great things.
Oh,
I told Chip,
I like that a lot.
I told Chip, like, what Chip was telling me the other day, like what I said to him that stuck with him is I surround myself with good people. I only work with other people I consider good. I know Chip's a good guy. I know I'm a good guy. I know you, Dr. Lauren, are a good guy. And there's just everybody in this circle, you know. I think what really I learned from another mentor is, like, nonprofit is still business. Like, you still have to keep the lights on and keep doing good, and you can do that without going broke. and you know, to me, that's how everybody wins.
Sure.
You empower others, and you can you know, live. Yeah, you can live.
I want to throw something out there. And you all were here from the beginning, so you're going to see I was right about this. I said that once you started in, you'd relax into, you know, that nice, comfortable space, because you're sharing something that is your passion. Now, what I'm getting at is, you see, this is and listen up, you guys, really take a listen here, seriously, because a lot of you feel like, I could never do that because I'm not the kind of person. I don't seek the limelight. And these guys are proof that they really don't like the limelight. You know, the nervousness was clear. But look at what's happened within this hour, just because they're sharing not just their passion, but the passion of the people that they serve and that they work with, and also the purpose behind why they do it. I want you to understand, when you seek this, it doesn't always just automatically happen. But know this, if you seek it, you will find it. That's one of the universal promises. And right after you've drawn your life-giving breath, the most recent one, you'll find that your passion for your purpose will be the very next thing standing in front of you. And today's guests are proof of that. Because when you work behind the scenes, all of a sudden the scenes work behind you. And that's how I know purpose. That's the purpose of the infinity symbol. It works in both directions. That's how you know you're within it. So I want to ask you guys this, because legacy. And I tell people all the time, you know, we had to go to a memorial service for a good friend of ours, Sandy Longcore, a few weeks ago.
right after same day we returned from Jackson Hole. And I remember coming home from that, and I said to my husband, Brian, I said, when my time comes, I don't want my eulogy to have anything written in it older than 2 weeks. Because I don't want people to remember me for things I did decades ago. I want them to remember me for things I did moments ago. So let's talk about, let's fast forward. You're preserving moments in history, stories, and uncovering them as best you can. Does it help you kind of design your own historical story? What you would hope people would say your purpose was all about? Because, and let's really talk about that as we have about 5 more minutes. Does that ever cross your mind that, wow, I'm doing this to save that person's story or preserve it? I wonder if it will help preserve my own. What say you?
I guess if I had anything to preserve of my own, I would like to have had out there that I helped build community and develop friendships among people. It is my dream to start a youth exchange program across the country again, and working on incubators to do so. But that and teaching people how to be economically viable.
That's where everything started with what we business wise. What we wanted to do is start a like a YouTube channel or a media arm that taught financial literacy, not just like how to pay your taxes or get a credit card, but like how to create wealth, how to go from that small business to building generational wealth.
Generational wealth. There you go.
To help empower neighborhoods and people to do that, because that is the way that we actually fix a lot of the problems we have. People who are economically stable tend to be happier.
Yeah, they do. Now, I want to hit this one real quick because this is important to you guys. The investment, sometimes you get to the point, we all do, where it's like, why is everybody fighting against this? It's for the greater good. I feel like throwing my hands up, and that's a big piece of service work. Sometimes we have to trick the world into what is best for them. Because everybody's, has ulterior motives. There's greed. There's all kinds of different things. So what do you do when you feel like, I want to do this? I saw a clip, one of the ones you sent, where you were down at this area and the two of you were there and you were pointing out your vision about, I want to do some paths here. So it's not just a big mud puddle where people can walk and preserve the nature. Now, there you are with the vision and just each other. Now, there are people in the future that will definitely take advantage of what you're creating at first, just right here and right here. But to get to the piece where it is viable, it is real, it is here, sometimes you have to put up with a whole bunch of stuff that you feel like, why am I even doing this? Why am I spending my time? I could be with my family. I could be doing 100 other things, but I'm doing this for those who are coming this way from the future. How do you keep yourself riled up and sis boom bias to get the work done? It cannot be easy.
You have a team. You can't do it yourself. I mean, I envy the person that is self-motivated enough to just really build something.
You do need to surround yourself with good people and people who, sometimes you need to vent. Lukus, fortunately, become one of those folks that I can vent to, and vice versa. And you know what? One of the things I do every day is I just declare to myself that today's going to be a good day and I'm going to work on this. And when anybody asks me how I'm doing, I smile and I say I'm doing fantastic. And I intend to. When you start declaring to yourself enough, it actually starts working, and you just start thinking about things in a more positive light. And when people are trying to be negative, you got to catch yourself and just stand up tall, smile, and say, I disagree.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna live my life this way, when you're being positive all the time, it's real hard for people to frown at you a lot, at least to your face. And I tend to just ignore the haters.
Well, I tell people, did you say haters?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And you guys heard me say this before because I think it was the Huffington Post interview. And they're like, well, how do you deal with haters, Dr. Lauren? I was like, what? Dr. Lauren don't have no haters. It's like everybody has haters. I said people choose to call it that. I don't have haters. I have closet fans. They love me. They just don't know it yet. That's my job, is to get it in front of them in a way that they go, oh, because the most powerful words you can get out of someone's mouth is, oh, I can see it. Because once you can draw the picture and they say they can see it, there's a reason they will never unsee it. And that's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. So I want to say as we get out of here, you guys, thank you so much for this work. You know, you're silent heroes. You really are. And you don't get to be up front. And I don't think you really want to be out there saying, look at me, look at me. But nonetheless, every now and then you need this where we can say from our hearts to your ears, thank you for the work you do. I'm glad that you were chosen and you accepted the challenge to make a difference in this world that can last, not just today, not just next week or next month, but for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. That's a journey. You guys, thank you so much again. And we are welcome back.
Thank you, Dr.
Style invitation. Welcome back anytime and send people our way. I know you know a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. Now listen, for all of you out there, thank you so much. I couldn't do this without you, nor would I want to. Now, get out. Find a little piece of your higher self. You only need one E and one R, and you can take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger. As I tell you all the time, every day that we're together, you are a blessing to me. Now, get out of here. Dr. Lauren loves you, and guess what? Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning, God willing, on the front porch. You guys, great job. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lauren. Really appreciated being on the show and had a lot of fun. So
absolutely, me too. Thank you, guys. Everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday morning. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.